Not all inventions are born from brilliant plans or intense research. Some of the most world-changing discoveries happened because of simple mistakes. Imagine this. A scientist forgets to clean his lab equipment and leaves a petri dish uncovered before going on vacation. When he returns, something unusual has grown on the plate. Instead of throwing it away, he takes a closer look. That mold turns out to be the start of one of the greatest medical breakthroughs in history. Throughout time, humanity has benefited not just from intelligence, but also from pure chance. Whether it was a failed experiment, a distracted moment, or an accidental reaction, these moments led to inventions that have shaped the modern world. Today, we will explore 10 inventions that were never supposed to happen but ended up changing everything. Their stories are full of curiosity, surprise, and unexpected success. 1. Penicillin, the mold that saved millions. In 1928, Alexander Fleming returned from vacation to a messy lab bench. He had left several petri dishes with bacteria samples sitting out. One of them had been contaminated with mold. Instead of discarding it, Fleming noticed something unusual. The bacteria surrounding the mold were no longer growing. The mold, later identified as Penicillium notatum, was releasing a substance that killed bacteria. Fleming had discovered the first true antibiotic, penicillin. It took over a decade for other scientists to turn his observation into a usable drug. But once they did, penicillin changed medicine forever. It helped cure infections that were once fatal and saved millions of lives during World War II and beyond. All of it started because one scientist noticed something odd and decided to investigate instead of cleaning up. 2. Microwave oven, the chocolate that melted. Percy Spencer, an engineer at Raytheon in the 1940s, was working on radar equipment when he noticed something strange. While testing a magnetron, he realized that the chocolate bar in his pocket had melted. Curious about the heat, he decided to place popcorn kernels near the equipment. They began to pop. Then, he placed an egg near the magnetron, which exploded. Spencer understood that microwaves from the magnetron were heating the food. This accidental discovery led to the invention of the microwave oven. The first models were large and expensive, often used only in restaurants. But over time, the technology became smaller and more affordable. Today, the microwave is one of the most common kitchen appliances, all because a chocolate bar melted in the right place at the right time. 3. Postit Notes, a weak glue finds a purpose. In 1968, Spencer Silver, a chemist at 3M, was trying to create a super strong adhesive. What he ended up with was the opposite. A glue that barely stuck to anything and could be peeled off without leaving residue. It seemed useless at first, but he kept promoting it internally at 3M for years. Eventually, another 3M scientist named Art Fry saw a use for it. Fry sang in a church choir and was frustrated that the bookmarks in his hymn book kept falling out. He remembered Silver's weak adhesive and used it to create a sticky, reusable bookmark. That idea evolved into the Post-it note. It became a global product and a symbol of productivity, all thanks to a failed attempt at creating a stronger glue. 4. X-rays, a glowing discovery. In 1895, German physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was experimenting with cathode rays. He covered a discharge tube with black cardboard to block the light. But he noticed something strange. Even though the tube was covered, a nearby fluorescent screen began to glow. Röntgen realized that invisible rays were passing through the cardboard. These invisible rays could travel through human tissue but not through bones or metal. Röntgen had discovered X-rays. This accidental discovery revolutionized medical diagnostics. For the first time, doctors could see inside the human body without surgery. Röntgen later received the first Nobel Prize in Physics for his work, which started with a surprising glow in a darkened room. 5. Pacemaker, a circuit gone wrong. In the 1950s, engineer Wilson Greatbatch was building a device to record heart sounds. While assembling the circuit, he mistakenly installed the wrong resistor. The circuit pulsed rhythmically. It reminded him of a heartbeat. That error inspired him to think differently. Instead of fixing the mistake, he experimented further and realized that the device could send electrical impulses to the heart. This became the foundation for the first implantable cardiac pacemaker. His accidental resistor choice helped extend millions of lives by keeping irregular heartbeats in check. A simple error in wiring became one of the greatest tools in medical history. 6. Teflon, slippery when discovered. In 1938, chemist Roy Plunkett was trying to create a new refrigerant gas. He stored the gas in a cylinder overnight, but when he opened it the next day, the gas was gone. Instead, he found a strange white powder that was incredibly slippery and resistant to heat and chemicals. This powder turned out to be polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE, which would later be branded as Teflon. Its non-stick and heat-resistant properties made it perfect for cookware, industrial machinery, and even spacesuits. Plunkett had not intended to make a new material, but his frozen cylinder led to one of the most useful substances ever created. 7. Safety glass, a broken flask with a surprise. In 1903, French scientist Edouard Benedictus accidentally knocked a glass flask off his shelf. To his surprise, it shattered but did not break into dangerous pieces. Upon closer inspection, he discovered that the flask had been coated with a plastic film that held the fragments together. This led to the invention of safety glass, which is now used in car windshields and many other applications. By mimicking the way the plastic kept the glass intact, Benedictus helped reduce injuries from shattered glass. His discovery showed that sometimes safety can come from a fortunate accident. 8. Vulcanized rubber, a fiery mistake. Charles Goodyear had spent years trying to make rubber more durable. Natural rubber melted in heat and cracked in cold. One day in 1839, Goodyear accidentally spilled a mixture of rubber and sulfur onto a hot stove. Instead of melting, the rubber hardened and became more elastic. This process, known as vulcanization, made rubber stable and usable in a wide range of products. Tires, shoes, and countless industrial tools became possible thanks to this heat-resistant version of rubber. Goodyear had failed many times before that accident, but one fiery mistake gave him the result he had been chasing all along. 9. Superglue, an unwanted stickiness. In 1942, Dr. Harry Coover was working on materials to make clear plastic gun sights during World War II. One formulation he tried turned out to be too sticky and unusable for that purpose. It stuck to everything and was quickly set aside as a failed experiment. Years later, while working at Eastman Kodak, he revisited that same compound. This time, he realized its potential. It was a powerful adhesive that required no heat or pressure. The result became known as superglue. What had once been rejected became a household product used in construction, first aid, and everything in between. 10. Artificial sweetener, sweet hands, bitter plans. In the late 1800s, chemist Konstantin Fahlberg was working on coal tar derivatives at Johns Hopkins University. After a long day in the lab, he went home without washing his hands. During dinner, he noticed that his bread tasted unusually sweet. He traced the sweetness back to a chemical he had been working with earlier that day. That chemical was saccharin, the first artificial sweetener. Though he had not set out to create something for food, his mistake led to a product that would later help diabetics and calorie-conscious individuals around the world. Fahlberg's dirty hands turned into sweet success. The power of curiosity. These stories remind us that some of the most impactful inventions in history were never part of a grand plan. They happened because someone paid attention to the unexpected. A moldy dish, a broken circuit, a slippery powder, or even sweet-tasting hands. Each one had the potential to be overlooked or thrown away. But instead of ignoring the accidents, these inventors stayed curious. They explored, experimented, and turned mistakes into milestones. It's a powerful reminder that not all progress comes from perfection. Sometimes it comes from simply being open to surprises. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our other videos for more fascinating stories, strange facts, and surprising truths about the world around us. Thanks for watching.